The first tool humanity ever trusted was a loop. Not fire, not stone, a loop. Before swords sang and before crowns glittered in torchlight, there was rope, silent, patient, coiled like a sleeping serpent in the dust. No one remembers who twisted the first fibers together. There are no monuments to them, no statues carved in their honor. But somewhere, in the shadow of prehistory, a pair of hands braided grass and sinew and plant fibers into something stronger than bone. And in that moment, humanity learned how to bind the world. It began in darkness, in caves where wind howled through stone throats and predators prowled outside. Rope became the unseen ally. It held shelters together, it bound spears, it secured crude rafts that dared to drift beyond sight of land. But rope did more than hold objects. It held power. With rope, early hunters dragged beasts 10 times their size. They trapped mammoths in pits. They hauled carcasses home like offerings to unseen gods. Rope made the weak strong. It multiplied force. It transformed hands into engines. And quietly, it taught humanity a dangerous lesson. Anything can be restrained. Centuries bled into millennia. Empires rose from dust and stone. And always, hidden in the scaffolding, wrapped around timber, biting into calloused palms, was rope. The pyramids did not lift themselves. The great stones of Stonehenge did not walk willingly. The towering ziggurats of Mesopotamia did not climb toward heaven without resistance. Rope pulled them upward. In ancient Egypt, flax fibers were twisted into thick, muscular cords. Thousands of laborers hauled limestone blocks across sand, guided by rope lines stretched like veins across the desert floor. Each fiber alone was fragile, but twisted together, unbreakable. That was the secret. Strength through unity, power through tension. Rope taught civilizations how to pull in the same direction. It was not just a tool, it was coordination incarnate. But it also learned something darker. Every tool has two faces. Where rope once lifted temples, it soon tightened around wrists. In ancient courts and medieval squares, rope became law's final argument. The noose emerged not as invention, but as evolution. A loop, a drop, a silence. Public executions were theater. Crowds gathered beneath wooden gallows as thick hemp ropes creaked in the wind. The fibers absorbed screams. They carried the weight of judgment. The same technology that built empires now enforced them. Rope did not choose sides, it only held, and in its fibers it remembered everything. Then came the oceans. If rope had once bound the earth, now it conquered water. The age of sail was an age of lines, miles and miles of rigging strung across wooden skeletons. Ships became floating webs. Every mast, every sail, every cannon depended on rope. Without rope, a ship was driftwood. With it, empires expanded. Naval fleets crossed black horizons. They claimed continents. They traded spices, gold, and human lives. The Atlantic slave trade, one of history's darkest chapters, relied on ropes that bound wrists and ankles in the belly of ships. Rope did not weep. It endured salt, blood, and storm alike. Sailors whispered superstitions about it. You never cut a rope without purpose. You respected the line that held your life above a crashing deck. In storms, when waves towered like mountains, sailors clung to rope as if it were the only thread between them and oblivion. Because often, it was. There are knots you are taught, and knots you are not. In mountain monasteries and secretive guilds, certain bindings were passed down like sacred texts. Sailors, executioners, climbers, scouts, each had their own coded language of loops and turns. A knot can save a life. A knot can end one. The hangman's knot, the surgeon's knot, the thief's binding hitch. Each twist carries intention. In Japan, the art of hojojutsu, binding captives with intricate rope patterns, was not merely restraint. It was psychology, symbolism, power displayed in symmetrical coils. In other corners of the world, rope was ritual, sacred, used in ceremonies to ward off evil spirits or tie vows between lovers. To bind something is to claim it. To untie it is to release it. And humanity became obsessed with both. The Industrial Revolution thundered in with steam and steel. Chains and cables replaced hemp. Suspension bridges stretched across impossible distances, woven from iron instead of grass. But the principle remained unchanged. Twist the weak together. Make them strong. From the Brooklyn Bridge to modern climbing gear, the concept of rope evolved into braided steel cables and synthetic fibers stronger than anything nature could grow. Today's ropes can hold space stations in orbit. They anchor oil rigs to the ocean floor. They carry elevators hundreds of stories into the sky. Invisible, everywhere, silent, still binding the world. Look around you. The history of rope is the history of connection. Power grids suspended by cables, internet lines running beneath oceans, bridges strung between cliffs, climbing ropes catching falling bodies mid-air. Even DNA, twisted like a microscopic rope ladder, binds life together. The pattern repeats. Twist, tension, strength. Rope is older than recorded history, yet it remains essential. It has lifted stones to the heavens and tightened around throats. It has dragged ships across horizons and pulled humanity from ravines. It is both salvation and sentence, creation and control. And perhaps that is the true mystery of rope. It is not merely a tool, it is a philosophy. Anything, no matter how fragile, can become powerful when bound together with intention. But beware. The same force that connects can constrain. The same loop that saves can suffocate. And somewhere in the quiet creak of fibers under strain, rope still whispers its ancient lesson. What you bind, binds you in return.